Today, we're very proud to present Respirator Fit Testing, Procedures, Facts, and Myths. This Safeopedia webinar is being presented by Moldex and has been made possible by Safetyware, who, by the way, celebrated their 40th year in service. Congratulations, Safetyware. I am now very grateful to invite Zach Brow, President at Safetyware, to share a few words.
Yes, thank you, Jamie, and good day to all of you who are participating in today's webinar. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us. I want to also thank Safeopedia and Moldex for allowing us to team up with them on today's topic. We're excited to sponsor the webinar, and we at Safetyware think the topic is very relevant and timely even with all that's going on in the world of safety today, especially with the new OSHA standards related to silica exposure specifically. Fit testing respirators and the topics we will cover today are questions that we receive quite frequently at Safetyware. Again, by formal introduction, my name is Zach Brow, and I'm the president of Safetyware. Safetyware is an independent, family-owned distributor of safety products, and we're based out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. And as Jamie mentioned, our company celebrated 40 years of business last February of 2017. And I personally have been part of the company 20 years professionally in various roles, but in all reality, my entire life, as I grew up with Safetyware and now being the second generation owner. We at Safetyware want to be a partner and a resource for you and all our customers as the safety specialists you can rely on. We eat, sleep, and breathe safety, so it's kind of what we do and what we know. We educate, train, and sell safety every day. We exist to help you and your organizations become safe places to work, and so that you and your employees make it home each night to your families. We pride ourselves on being that one source supplier for all things safety. It's another reason why we appreciate this opportunity today to sponsor a webinar with experts in their fields like Safeopedia and Moldex, to bring that additional value to your organizations and to offer yet another educational opportunity for you and all of our customers. If we can help you and your company with any safety need, we're here to help and appreciate any opportunity. My contact information will be someplace on the slides of this presentation to come. Circling back, Moldex is a valued SafetyNetwork.me supplier partner of ours at Safetyware, and we're glad to team up with them today. We try always to align our company with the smartest, most knowledgeable, most experienced, and best trained safety professionals out there. And Moldex certainly fits that bill as one of the premier manufacturers in the world for all respiratory and hearing related products and solutions. So I'll stop talking now and turn it back over to them to get this webinar going. Thank you and enjoy.
Great, thanks so much, Zach. Really appreciate it. Yes, all about our families getting home safe, so thanks for that. All right, to the main event. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you today's presenter, Craig Smith. Craig is a marketing professional with nearly 20 years of experience. He has been with the Moldex team for the past 9 years, working within the marketing, project, and product management. He is a Los Angeles native who attended USC and graduated with emphasis in both marketing and the entrepreneur program. In his spare time, he is an avid CrossFitter and enjoys cooking, camping, and snowboarding. In fact, he is headed to the mountains to shred the gnar shortly after this webinar. So I now invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the presentation. With that, Craig, please take it away.
Thank you, Jamie. All right. So, as Jamie said, my name is Craig Smith. I'm the marketing director for Moldex. For those of you who are not familiar with Moldex, we're a leading manufacturer of innovative hearing and respiratory protection products. Also on the line from Moldex, we have our VP of Technical Services, Dr. Jeffrey Berkner, and our Technical Services Manager, James Gallegos. They will be here to help answer any questions that may come up during the course of the webinar. All right, so what are we going to talk about? During this webinar, we'll cover what fit testing is, how to determine if you need to conduct fit testing, the difference between quantitative and qualitative fit testing and how each are performed, regulations and best practices regarding record keeping and future fit testing, the difference between a fit test and a seal check. We'll address some common myths and misconceptions, and then finally at the end, we'll have an opportunity to answer any questions. Before we get going, this webinar will only be addressing fit testing with regards to negative pressure air purifying respirators, including NIOSH certified disposable respirators, reusable half masks, and reusable full face respirators. We'll not be speaking about PAPRs, SCBAs, airline, or any other type of positive pressure masks. Also, this webinar should not replace reading, understanding, and using the full instructions that come with fit test kits and the equipment, fit test kits and equipment, and you should also read and understand the complete OSHA regulations with regard to fit testing. These regulations can be found on the OSHA website at www.osha.gov. Okay, on with the show. All right, so the first question is, what exactly is fit testing? Well, as the name implies, it's a test of the fit of a particular mask, and more specifically, a test of the seal between the mask and the wearer's face. They generally take about 15 to 20 minutes per test, and once you successfully pass a fit test, it is required that you use the exact same manufacturer, make, model, and size of mask while on the job. If you fail a fit test, then you can retry again with the same mask, but ultimately you'll need to find a mask that you can pass the test with and then wear that exact same manufacturer, make, model, and size of mask on the job. It's also important that at the end of a successful fit test, the test subject knows exactly what manufacturer, make, model, and size of mask they passed with, as well as to be instructed and understand when and where they must wear their respirator. So you may be asking yourself, do I or my employees need to be fit tested? The answer is, it depends. Here's the exact wording from the OSHA standard 1910.134. A respirator shall be provided to each employee when such equipment is necessary to protect the health of such employee. The employer shall provide respirators which are applicable and suitable for the purpose intended. So after hearing that, is a respirator necessary to protect the health of your employee? If the answer is yes, then you have a mandatory respiratory program and you must conduct fit testing for your employees and that need to wear a respirator. If the answer is no, then you have the option to have a voluntary respiratory program and you have the option of conducting fit testing at your own discretion. If you have a voluntary respiratory program, then there are still a few things you are required by OSHA to do. If you have employees that choose to wear a respirator, then you must maintain a written respiratory program. The exception to this rule is if you only have employees who choose to wear filtering face pieces, or what many people would call dust masks or disposable respirators. Additionally, any employee that chooses to wear any respirator, disposable or not, must be provided with a copy of OSHA 1910.134 Appendix D, which basically says, read and understand all of the instructions on use and maintenance that came with your respirator, choose the appropriate respirator for your environment, don't wear your respirator in environments where it wasn't designed for, and keep track of your respirator. Now, if you have a mandatory respiratory program, then the requirements of the written respiratory program that you must have and maintain are quite a bit more extensive. They include, but are not limited to, topics such as selection of the appropriate respirator, medical evaluations, fit testing procedures, respirator use and maintenance, air quality sampling, training of employees on proper use of respirators, and procedures for the evaluation of the effectiveness of the program itself. Now, I know a lot of you out there may be thinking, this is a lot, help me. Don't worry, Moldex is happy to help. We have online resources and a friendly and knowledgeable technical services department that can help you get your written respiratory program all set up. Okay, So now you've discovered that you must perform respiratory fit testing for your employees. Now what? There are two types of fit tests accepted by OSHA, qualitative and quantitative. The differences between the two come down to bananas versus computers. A qualitative fit test relies on the test subject's response to a test agent, such as saccharin that tastes sweet, isoamyl acetate, which smells like bananas, Bittrex that has a bitter taste, and irritant smoke that makes you cough. Moldex does not recommend the use of irritant smoke. The official Moldex qualitative fit test kit uses Bittrex. Conversely, a quantitative fit test digitally compares the number of particles in the air outside of the respirator with the number of particles in the air inside of the respirator to determine total mask leakage. It uses a piece of sophisticated equipment such as the port account from TSI or the QuantiFit from OHD. Qualitative fit tests are subjective. Do you smell this? Do you taste this? Quantitative fit tests are objective. The computer does all of the measuring. One big difference comes in relation to a full face respirator. When a full face is tested using a qualitative method, it can only be used in environments where the contaminant is below 10 times the OSHA permissible exposure limit, or PEL. However, when quantitatively fit tested, a full face mask can be used in environments up to 50 times the OSHA PEL. Moldex is also happy to help here. For qualified end users, we can provide a train the trainer service free of charge, where a Moldex representative can train and certify your own internal employees to be qualified to perform the fit testing procedures, which can potentially save a company thousands of dollars on fit testing services. We also have loan out programs for both port account and QuantiFit cartridges. So now you've determined that you need to conduct fit testing, and you've decided on one of the methods, either qualitative or quantitative. Next, you'll need to know how to conduct your chosen type of test. Once again, you must read and understand all of the instructions that come with your fit test kit or fit test equipment, and also do not hesitate to ask your Moldex representative or go to www.moldex.com/webinar for more information about our free Train the Trainer program. As I mentioned earlier, the respirator that your employee intends to use on the job must be exactly the same manufacturer, make, model, and size as the one you're going to use for the fit test. Any facial hair, such as a beard or mustache, that could interfere with the seal of the mask to the face disqualifies the subject from using a tight-fitting respirator or a reusable respirator. If the test subject has long hair, it's a good idea to tie it back. If the test subject wears eyeglasses while on the job, or wears any other equipment on their head or face that could potentially interfere with the respirator seal, then they must wear this equipment too during the test. And finally, the test subject should be instructed not to eat, drink, smoke, or chew gum for at least 15 minutes before the test. As I said earlier, for a qualitative fit test, you can use either saccharin, banana oil, irritant smoke, which Moldex does not recommend, or if you choose to make use of the Moldex fit test kit, Bittrex. For a fit test using Bittrex, you'll need a hood, 2 nebulizers that produce a fine mist, the Bittrex fit test solution, a sensitivity solution that ensures the subject has the ability to taste Bittrex, and of course the respirator that you intend to fit test with. All of these parts, except for the respirator, are included in the Moldex qualitative fit test kit. Going over the entire test would take too long for this webinar, but we have created a step-by-step instructional video on how to perform a qualitative fit test using the Moldex Bittrex fit test kit. The video can be accessed on the Moldex website, on our YouTube channel, and we'll also send out a link in the follow-up email after this webinar. Full instructions are also included in the fit test kit, and once again, they should be read and fully understood before starting the test. The equipment needed to conduct a quantitative fit test kit depends on if you will be using the TSI port account system or the OHD Quantifit system. Both are acceptable quantitative fit test systems. The TSI port account system uses a mask that's been fitted with a probe in the case of a disposable mask, or a special probed cartridge if you're testing a reusable half or full face mask. The OHD Quantifit can only be used to fit test reusable masks and uses special cartridges designed specifically for the mask you intend to test. And again, we've created step-by-step instructional video for the initial setup of a quantitative fit test, and then both TSI and OHD have detailed videos on how to conduct the actual fit test using their respective systems. And just as a reminder, please don't hesitate to ask your local Moldex rep or go to www.moldex.com/webinar for information on our free port account and Quantifit loan-out programs for qualified end users. There are some record-keeping requirements associated with fit testing, as well as regular schedules that must be followed to be in compliance with the OSHA standard. The employer must retain written information regarding medical evaluations, fit testing, and of course, your written respiratory program. This information must be made readily available if requested by an OSHA representative. Additionally, all of the information gathered during a fit test must be retained as well. Here are a few examples of ways to keep record of the fit testing results. These are certificates and records that come as a part of the Moldex Bittrex Fit Test Kit and cover all of the necessary information, such as the name of the employee being tested, the type of test performed, specifics about the respirator used, and pass-fail results. Also seen here in the middle is a wallet card that's also included in the Moldex kit. It's a good way to make sure that the employee knows the specifics of the mask they were fit tested on, like model number and size. Fit testing must be done before the first time an employee wears a given respirator. Then, assuming no changes to the mask or the face of the employee, annually after that. There are some tasks, such as asbestos abatement, where OSHA requires more frequent retesting. In Canada, the regulations of fit testing must be performed every 2 years. If there are any change in the mask, if there's any change in the mask the employee is wearing, such as a change of manufacturer, a change of model, or a change of size, then you must retest. Also, if there's any change that might affect the shape or features of the employee's face, then you also must retest. These might include drastic change in weight, major dental work, and even facial surgery or excessive scarring. All right, we're getting close to the end now. Let's take a quick look at the difference between a fit test and a fit check, or a seal check. There are several key differences. The first is who bears the responsibility. Fit testing is the responsibility of the employer, while seal checks are the responsibility of the employee. As we've been discussing, a fit test requires the use of specialized equipment, but a seal check can be performed with only the wearer's own hands. Fit tests are performed initially and annually, but seal checks are performed each time a wearer puts on a mask and periodically throughout the day. And finally, a fit test determines the overall fit of a given mask, and once that's been established, frequent seal checks determine if you have the mask put on and adjusted correctly. All right, the last thing. I'm just going to go through a few myths and common misconceptions regarding fit testing. The first myth or misconception that we've often heard is that disposable respirators don't need to be fit tested. This is false. If you have a mandatory respiratory program, then all tight-fitting respirators in use must be fit tested regardless of if they are disposable or reusable. The next myth is one that I heard just last week. What defines a respirator is that it has an exhale valve, and all respirators must be fit tested. Therefore, masks with an exhale valve must be fit tested. Here again, this is false. An exhale valve is only there to let hot exhaled air out faster and has no bearing on if the mask needs to be fit tested, and certainly does not define a mask as a respirator. Oh, and one last myth for you all. A fit check serves the same purpose as a fit test, and the two can be used interchangeably. Now, if you've been paying attention, you will know the answer to this one. It's obviously false. Fit checks and fit tests are not the same thing, and one cannot be substituted for the other. Just as a reminder, a fit check is performed to verify that the mask is seated correctly on the user's face before they enter a contaminated area. Fit checks should also be done periodically throughout the day to ensure that the seal is maintained. All right, that's all, folks. I'd like to thank you all for the opportunity to speak with you today, and I'd also like to extend a special offer to the qualified end users in the audience to give Moldex respirators a try absolutely for free. Just go to www.moldex.com/webinar for more information on that. Jamie?
Really appreciate everybody today. Zach, Craig, any final words?
Yeah, this is Zach. I just want to thank everybody who logged on today, took time out of their schedules to join us, and hopefully you learned something and it was a valuable tool for you. And if there's anything we can do, please email me direct. I'm happy to help. Want to thank all that participated, especially Safeopedia and Moldex. You guys did a great job, and thanks for letting us be a part of it.
And this is Craig. I'd also like to thank everybody who logged on and took the time to watch this webinar. I'd like to thank Zach from Safetyware and Jamie and all the other people at Safeopedia. And then, of course, Jeff and James from our technical services department here at Moldex. So thank you, everybody.
Great. Thank you both. Thanks to Zach. Really appreciate you making this webinar possible. To Craig, great job presenting. It was thanks to Jeff and James. Really appreciate you jumping on and answering all the questions. But most importantly, the audience. Without you guys, this webinar wouldn't be possible, and we really appreciate you taking your time. We realize that you have, important things to do, so we're very grateful that you took some time out to sit with us today during the webinar. So with that, we will conclude the webinar. Again, definitely reach out to us if you have any questions. So with that, really want to thank everybody. Take care and stay safe.
Thank you.